I want to call upon the second speaker. This is Dr. Sumit Lokhande. He is currently working as an assistant professor in School of Liberal Arts and Human Science in Oro University and serves as esteemed member in Academic Council of Oro University and member board of studies of School of Liberal Arts and Human Science and Department of Political Science, CKT College, Panvel. He did his MA in Chinese philosophy from Beijing Normal University. Also, he received the Chinese Ambassador Scholarship to do his PhD research and linguistics from Shanghai International Studies University, September 2016, July to 2017. He received the Confucius Fellowship to pursue independent research as senior visiting scholar at School of Law, Shandong University, Jinan, China, from September 2017 to 2019. So I call upon Dr. Sumit.
Hello, good afternoon. Am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible, sir. Yeah.
Thank you. First of all, I would like to start my speech by thanking the organizers of this interactive session, and especially Dr. Das, for giving me this opportunity to share my views on the occasion of 113th birth anniversary of Professor XuFancheng, who has done tremendous work on Indian and Chinese culture, especially his works on sphere window. I'm basically, from my introduction, Dr. Das must have told you that I'm basically from background of political science and international relations. However, being from a civilizational state like India, when I went to China, I had a cultural shock, and it was way more different than what I assumed, of course, in a positive way. I know most of us who have been to China and Chinese who have been to India have the same feeling. During my 3 years of stay in China, I had developed a keen interest in learning Chinese civilization in totality, which includes every aspect of it, like culture, tradition, literature, philosophy, history, politics, economics, and other dimensions. The reason was very simple, and that is, if you wish to understand China, you will need to develop an holistic approach, because everything is interlinked and imbibed with each other. Now, when we talk about Indian and Chinese culture, one thing is sure: they have more similarities than we can ever imagine. Just like Indian cultural philosophy, Chinese philosophy tries to lay the foundational principles for humans on this planet. It speaks about the benevolence and cultivation, which which talks about being grateful to what we have and being kind with others. It also talks about self-fulfillment and frustration, which talks about human nature and how internal and external environment can impact the nature of human in totality. It speaks about great unity and harmony, which talks about peace and unity among all humans with a shared path of future. On the Indian side, Bhagavad Gita also talks about more or less similar things. Now, this brings our discourse to the most important Chinese ideal of Tianxia the Tong, that is grand harmony all under heaven, which is a Chinese echo of Vasudeva Kutumbakam. Though Tianxia is very well expressed as under the all under the heaven, we see a similar explanation of Ta Tong in classic of Liqi. There is famous passage generally called as Ta Tong Pian, which is one of the hallmarks of Chinese civilization. They say depicts the utopia of the ancients, which is a society governed by the most of virtues and capable people. Everyone here is well provided, and in this society, in this utopian society, old pass away peacefully, the adults are employed, the young are well nourished, and the widows, orphans, disabled are taken care of. There's no unrest, robbery, theft, and people do not need to close their doors when they sleep at night. This is the picture of Chinese utopian, the Thong, that is grand harmony. With the Indian mindset, it will sound more like the Ram Rajya, where everything will be perfect. And here is something that we can see more connectiveness, more similarities between the Chinese philosophy, Chinese culture, and Indian philosophy and Indian culture. I wish to choose this topic because we are talking about the similarities. The topic today is about India-Chinese culture. So instead of giving you details like how this philosophy is generated or the genesis, I just wanted to give you simpler examples of it. And that is how similar the concept of Vasudha Kutumbakam and Tianxia the Thong is to us. Now, let me give you a practical example of Tianxia the Thong. In 1938, India sent 5 physicians to China to treat the injured Chinese soldiers during the Japanese invasion. And Dr. Kutnis, popularly known as Ketihua in China, laid his life in the line of duty. In his remembrance, Chairman Mao had written that the army has lost a helping hand, the nation has lost a friend. Let us always bear in mind his international spirit. Further, whenever Chinese leaders from Chiang Enlai, Jiang Zemin, Hu Jintao, Xi Jinping have visited India, they have made it a point to meet Kutnis' family in India. Whenever new Consular General takes the position in the Chinese consulate of Mumbai, he makes it a point to visit Kutnis' family. In 2020, despite of territorial dispute, India and China together commemorated 110th birth anniversary of Dr. Kutnis. Similarly, a medical school has been named after him. Why to go far-fetched? Here, the very center, the XuFancheng Cultural Studies Center, was also established on 2020 to commemorate XuFancheng's 110th birth anniversary. And this was despite of the border dispute that were heightened in that year. This was despite of the coronavirus that the world was invading. And here are the two civilizations who are coming together to establish a center in the name of Professor XuFancheng, who had played an important role in connecting the old, what you can say, relationship, rather reviving the old relationship that Indian and Chinese civilization had. Lastly, as the 20th century is witnessing the rise of India and China, and as they have embarked upon the journey to retrieve their glorious past, they need to remember that the ancient era had one fundamental, and that is peaceful and cooperative relationship between India and Chinese civilization. Hence, I would like to request both the governments of India and China that Indian spiritual goal of Vasudev Kutumbakam, that is the whole world is one single family, and the Chinese spiritual goal of Tianxia Tetong, grand harmony all under heaven, won't be realized unless and until these two big nations with a combined population of 2.8 billion cooperate with each other. We need to learn from our civilizational past, our philosophical past, and keep alive Professor XuFancheng's spirit of humanitarianism and spread prosperity and harmony all over the world. Said that, I would once again like to thank Dr. Das and the organizers of XuFancheng Cultural Studies Center for organizing such an event where the speakers would express their views, share their views, understand each other's views, and develop this harmonious relationship for the next decade to come. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Sumit. It was very interesting to listen to you and holistic approach to understand China. And really, we want to hear from you more. In future also, we will be calling you. You spoke very interestingly. I think all our speakers and audience also liked what you have spoken. Thank you a lot.